guys, and happy Monday to ya. Happy Monday to ya. Here's what we're doing. Let's see if I can make it look like Star Wars. Dun, 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 dun. It's Monday. Please read for 30 minutes. Write your cursive letter to a friend or family member. Fiction. The fiction's the big part. It says short story in the first person. First person means I. So I'm telling a story like I went to the store. When I got there, I noticed that everything was on sale. I decided to buy some pepperoni for my pizza. That's when you write a story with the word I a whole bunch. So you're going to notice with fiction, there are two things. The big one is I shared a doc with you that's called Fiction Short Story in First Person. That's going to be what you're working on today. It gives you a whole bunch of examples of what you could write your story about. You can write about whatever you want, but I did list a whole bunch of things you could write about. So for instance, dogs take over the world. What changes? That's number 12. So this is going to be a short story that's going to be a good 6 paragraphs or so. Should be at least 6 paragraphs. And I'm not sure how long at this point we're going to be working on this, but for a couple weeks. This week we're really going to get going, but next week we'll have some new things we're working on, but we're still going to be sometimes touching in on our short story. So probably 2 weeks. But this week you want to just like really get started and get cooking on it. So I talk about on that doc what happens in a short story. Usually you have, in a short story, you have your characters, you have your setting. Characters are who's in the story. Setting is where does it take place and in what time. And like, does it take place in present day Portland in the spring? Or does it take place in the future on Mars? That'd be a different setting. Conflict. Short stories always have some kind of conflict. It's not just like somebody woke up and then he played ukulele and then he walked around for a while. Usually something happens that's a little bit more interesting than that. That's why people want to read about it. Like after he played ukulele, he walked around and then he saw a loose dog. It looked like the dog was lost. Then suddenly the reader's like, oh, it's kind of getting interesting. So something happens in the story. Like in that, the conflict is there's a lost dog and he needs to figure out what he's supposed to do about it. So there's some challenge that he has to overcome or she has to overcome. Sometimes there's a theme in the story too. Like the theme might just be family's important as an example. But anyway, I don't want to get too long on that. Please read that Google Doc. Think about where your story's going to go. Stories are often like roller coasters where they start off slow and they get more and more exciting, and then it gets really exciting, and then it kind of resolves a little bit. Movies are like that too, especially adventure movies. But you're going to have to answer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions today. And that's the questions that are here at the bottom in blue. So the questions are, who are the 3 main characters in your story? Say who they are, an age for them, and then an adjective for each one. A couple, maybe, hopefully like 2 or 3 adjectives. I give examples of mine about this story that I just made up about this kid named Alfred. The second one is... Come on, computer. Please work. My computer's freezing. But anyway, the second one is going to be... Come on. Hold on here. What's the setting of the story? Where does it take place? What's the general idea of the story, the plot, like kind of what happens? What's the most exciting part of the story going to be? And then what will happen in the introduction to your story? So you just want to write like a sentence or 2 about each one of those 5 questions. And then think about what's going to happen in the introduction. How am I going to introduce my story? because tomorrow you're going to be writing your introduction. And like I said, I gave examples for each one. And at this point, we're not writing the story, we're just answering those questions. So just be thinking about where's your story going to go. That's really where you're thinking about today. I also linked you up with the fiction checklist. The fiction checklist is going to be all the things you need to have in your story. And you might want to just look at that right now so you kind of know what you're getting yourself into. But that's for editing when you finish, to make sure you know you got everything. But look at it now so you know what you need to include. There are things like you need to have a quote, you need to have an Awubis comma. Remember that? We'll talk about it. You need to have, there's whole stuff on the list. Okay, besides that, let's get back to business. Dun, dun. Math. Art, Melissa has art for us. Newsella, read a Newsella article to answer the questions. And the wellness tip is just smile. Sometimes it just feels good. I mean, always it just feels good to smile. And your mind and your body are linked. So when you smile, it sends messages to your brain that you're feeling good. So even if you're not feeling, even if you're just feeling kind of whatever, you kind of smile, and you start feeling better. And then your brain feels better. And then your brain's like, man, I'm feeling good. And that makes you smile even more because you're like, yeah, I am feeling good. And that makes your brain be like, oh, I'm feeling good. So you can sometimes your brain tells your body how you're feeling, but you can tell your brain how you're feeling with your body too. That's what's kind of cool about it. So just smile sometimes. Even if you're not feeling great, you don't want to like walk around like, ah. But see if you can just kind of get like a little bit of a smile. You start to feel good. All right, guys, have a great day today. Also, I want to say I've started reading your diary entries from last week and letters, and they're so far a lot of them are really good. I haven't read all of them, but I've started reading them. I'm going to have comments up on all of those in the next day or two. All right, have a great day.